You hear that? That nothingness? That's the sound they're all so afraid of. The silence between screams. The heartbeat before the fall. The quiet moment when the lights go out. And all you're left with is you. You see, they forgot something. They forgot that when the sun sets, when the masks come off, when the heroes stop smiling for the cameras and the cowards crawl back to their cages, the real show begins. They forgot that monsters don't fear the dark. No, we live in it. We breathe it in like perfume. We bathe in the silence they run from. While they beg for the light, we learn how to see in the shadows. You think darkness is something to be feared? Cute. Let me tell you a little secret. The dark doesn't hurt you. It doesn't betray you. It doesn't lie to your face with pretty smiles and soft hands. It just is. Pure, honest, empty, perfect. I didn't stumble into the dark. No. I was born in it. Raised by broken promises, fed by rejection, and cradled by chaos. While the rest of you were learning how to pretend, I was learning how to survive. Oh, they all wear masks, don't they? The politicians, the parents, the priests, even your so-called heroes, especially them. They flash their grins, paint their symbols, talk about hope, and underneath, fear, insecurity, lies. They need the light because without it they're nothing. Without applause, they crumble. Without a spotlight, they fade. But me? I don't need your lights. I don't need your love. I don't need your rules, your structure, your fragile little cage you call society. I burned my mask long ago. What you see is what you get. And what you get is truth. You think monsters are born? Nah. Monsters are made. Forged in silence. Tempered in pain. Sharpened by betrayal. It starts small. A shove here. A laugh there. A moment of silence when you begged for a voice. And then one day, you realize the world wasn't made for you. You realize justice is just a coin toss. And the people who scream monster were the ones who lit the fire. So what do? You stop running. You stop hiding. And you become the very thing they fear. Not because you wanted to, but because you had to. They called me mad, you know. Unstable, dangerous, unhinged. And I laughed. Oh, how I laughed. Not because I was broken, but because I finally understood. Because what they call madness, I call clarity. They spend their lives trying to make sense of a world that was never meant to make sense, clinging to rules written by liars, praying to gods they only remember when they're bleeding, living for approval from ghosts in suits and shadows in boardrooms. That's insanity. And yet they call me the madman? You want to know what real madness is? Real madness is waking up every day and pretending this whole circus isn't already on fire. It's putting on your tie like a noose and calling it purpose. It's knowing the system is broken, crippled, beyond repair and still smiling for the camera, still playing along, just so you don't get labeled the villain. They fear the villain, not because he's cruel, not because he's violent. They fear him because he tells the truth. The truth that the light is a lie. That the people you trust would stab you for less than a whisper. That every smile you've ever seen was just another mask, another performance, another transaction. That's what they can't stand. Not the chaos, not the destruction. It's the mirror we hold to their fraudulence, their hypocrisy, their rot. They call us mad to silence the part of them that knows we're right. So call me what you want. Call me insane. Call me lost. Call me wicked. But know this, I'm awake. And that's more than I can say for the rest of you. While they were preaching order, I was learning the truth in chaos. While they begged for control, I learned to ride the storm like a carousel of knives. Because chaos, real chaos, isn't destruction for the sake of destruction. It's a revelation. It shows you what's underneath the costume. Take away the power, the money, the fear, and see what's left. Spoiler alert? It ain't much. You strip a man down to the bone. You'll find fear. You'll find hunger. You'll find a broken little boy screaming for someone to tell him he matters. You know what I found in my darkness? I found that little boy. I looked him in the eye and I said, "They'll never love you, not really, so stop begging, burn the damn script." And you know what happened? He laughed. Not because it was funny, but because it was freeing. You ever stare in the mirror long enough to see something stare back? Not the face you show your boss, not the one you wear for the family dinner. I mean the thing underneath, the creature behind the grin, the predator, under the skin. They pretend it doesn't exist. They medicate it, pray it away, choke it with affirmations and wellness. But me? I looked that monster in the eye and said, "You're all I've got, so let's dance." And together, we made something beautiful, not kind, not gentle, but real. Because the world doesn't need more empty smiles. It needs monsters that remember why they were born. They don't fear us because we're cruel. They don't fear us because we're violent. They fear us because we're proof. Proof that you can be broken and still be powerful, that you can be rejected and still be free, that you can be feared and still laugh until the walls crack. You ever wonder why the monsters in stories live in caves, in closets, under beds? It's not because they're hiding. It's because they're waiting. Waiting for the moment when the lights flicker, when the lies stop working, when the hero falls off his pedestal. And then we rise. We don't come to destroy your world. We come to show you what it really is. A game, a stage, a grand illusion where the house always wins, unless you flip the table. And we do that with a smile. I want to talk about pain, not the kind that leaves bruises, the kind that lingers, the kind you don't talk about because if you start, you'll never stop. That quiet ache behind the eyes, that scream that never makes it out of your throat. I know it. Oh, I know it intimately. And I also know this. Pain is a weapon. And once you learn to hold it without cutting yourself, you become unbreakable. They tried to crush me with pain. What they didn't know is that I was sharpening every betrayal, a whetstone, every lie, a forge, every scar, a signature, until one day I stopped feeling pain and started wielding it. You still with me? Still clutching your little candle in the dark? Still hoping the hero shows up to save you? Huh. You really don't get it yet, do you? No one's coming. And if they do, they're probably worse than me. You know what the funny thing is? Everyone thinks monsters hate the world. They think we wake up every morning with bloodlust in our eyes and fire in our chests. That we foam at the mouth, itching to break, to burn, to rip it all to shreds. But that's not true. No, we don't destroy because we hate the world. We destroy because we understand it. We've seen it naked without the makeup, without the mask, without the lies. We've looked past the smiling billboards and shiny screens, past the suits and sermons and slogans, and we've seen what's underneath. The cracks, the rot, the maggots writhing just beneath the surface. This world isn't a shining city. It's a carnival built on bones, a joke told over and over until even the punchline forgets it's supposed to be funny. And here's the part that no one likes to talk about. You see it too. You do. Every time you fake a smile at a job you hate. Every time you swallow your rage just to keep the peace. Every time you laugh at things that aren't funny and cry alone because you're not allowed to break in public. You feel it. That itch behind your eyes. That whisper in your skull. That little voice asking, is this really all there is? You see the cracks. You smell the rot. You know the truth. But you won't admit it. Because admitting it would make you one of us. And once you see the world as it truly is, you either go mad or you set the match. And most of you, you're just too scared to light it. So you call us monsters. You label us villains. You try to cage the ones who finally said what you've been too afraid to whisper. But the truth is, we're not the disease. We're the diagnosis. We're not the fire. We're the spark that shows you everything was already burning. So go ahead. Keep pretending. Keep smiling. Keep playing house in a house full of termites. Just know, when it all collapses, when the walls crack and the masks fall and the laughter turns real, we won't say, I told you so. We'll just laugh. Because monsters don't hate the world. We just stopped lying about it. I've watched this little system of yours. Your schools, your jobs, your governments, your laws, all of it. A big bloated stage play. Scripted, predictable, pointless. They dress it up in rules and rituals. They hand you a role at birth. Be nice, be normal, be good. And if you slip, if you break character, well then, the audience turns on you. The same audience that never clapped for you in the first place. I've played your little game. I smiled on cue. Saturday when told. Pretended I didn't hear the laughter behind my back. And you know what I got for it? Nothing. Not love. Not peace. Not purpose. Just emptiness. So one day, I stopped playing. I tossed the script into the fire and watched your stage collapse. It was beautiful. They say fire is dangerous, uncontrollable, chaotic. You know what else it is? Honest. Fire doesn't lie. It doesn't pretend. It doesn't hide behind social contracts and courtrooms and fake smiles. It devours. And in the ashes, you see what's real. You see who people really are when their titles burn, when their homes crumble, when their gods stop answering. You see truth. That's why I love fire. It's not destruction. It's revelation. They call me a villain because I light the match. But ask yourself this. Who built the pile of lies that's ready to burn? Me? Or them? Let me tell you a secret. Order is a lie. A coin flip in a crowded room. One side, comfort. Other side, control. And guess what? The house always decides which way it lands. You think you're safe because you follow the rules? Try breaking one. Just one. Not even a big one. Maybe you cry in public. Maybe you yell too loud. Maybe you tell the truth to someone who wasn't ready to hear it. And suddenly, you're not part of the game anymore. You're dangerous. You're unstable. You're wrong. That's what they can't stand. Not violence, not blood, but non-compliance. You don't even have to hurt anyone. Just stop pretending, and they'll come for you. You ever wonder why the people around you stay so quiet? Why they bite their tongues and swallow their rage? Fear, not of monsters, not of me, of judgment, of truth, of finally saying what they actually feel. Because if they did, oh, the whole house of cards comes down. So they hide, smile, blend in, and when someone like me says what they all secretly feel, they scream. Because if I'm right, they're cowards, and that's a truth they'll never swallow. You think I enjoy hurting people? Number. The blood isn't the message. It's the silence that follows. That moment when the screaming stops and the world listens. Really listens. You ever seen a man look death in the face and realize he wasted his whole life pretending? It's not the violence that wakes people up. It's the end of illusion. Because when the mask is ripped off, there's nothing left but truth. Ugly, raw, unfiltered truth. That's what I give the world. And they call me evil for it? Laughs bitterly. They're lucky I'm not worse. They want rebirth without fire, change without chaos, freedom without cost. But the phoenix doesn't ask permission. It burns. And if you want to rise, you've got to fall apart first. You've got to let the fire eat you. Let it consume every lie you've told yourself, every illusion of control. Only then do you get to start over. I don't want to kill the world. I want to set it free. Free from hypocrisy, from guilt, from the chains of pretending. Let the world burn. Let the suits scream and the heroes weep. Let the statues fall and the screens go black. Let the empire of illusion come crumbling down, so we can build something real in the ashes. Not perfect, not safe, but true. You can cling to the light if it helps you sleep, but don't forget it flickers. And when it dies, I'll be waiting, not with anger, not with hate, with open arms and a matchstick. So now we come to the part they always skip, the twist they're too afraid to face. You've heard the screams, you've felt the fire, you've seen the masks fall and the bones beneath them, and maybe, just maybe, you're wondering what comes next. Here's the truth. It was never about me. This entire time, you thought I was the villain in your story. But what if I wasn't the monster at all? What if you were? You see, I'm not special. I'm just honest. I didn't climb out of hell with a grin and a gun because I'm evil. I did it because I had nothing else. And deep down you know what that feels like. But you buried it, didn't you? You put it in a box, tied it with denial, and whispered, "That's not me, that's him. That's the monster." But what if it is you? What if everything you hate in me is everything you've refused to face in yourself? The anger, the resentment, the desire to scream in the middle of a smiling crowd and tear the whole illusion apart. You feel it, don't you? You've just never let it out. Because letting it out means admitting it was always there. And that's the part that scares you most. You wake up every morning and paint your smile, brush your hair, repeat your little affirmations in the mirror. Today will be better. I'm okay. I'm strong. But underneath, you're hurting. You're bitter. You're angry at the world, at them, at yourself. And you're afraid. Afraid of being seen. Afraid that someone might look into your eyes and say, "There's a monster in there." So you cover it. You medicate it. You drown it in routine. You bury it beneath titles, likes, followers, diplomas, and filters. But it's still there, isn't it? Whispering at night, clawing at the back of your throat during polite conversation, gnashing its teeth behind your eyes every time you're told to calm down. You keep it caged. But cages don't erase monsters. They just make them angrier. Here's my advice. Stop pretending. Let it out. Let the monster breathe. I'm not saying burn a city. I'm not saying start a war. But for God's sake, stop lying. Tell the truth. Cry when it hurts. Scream when it's not fair. Say no when they expect you to say yes. Walk away when they expect you to stay silent. Because you're not weak. You're just afraid of what you might become if you stop being what they told you to be. But what if that monster they warned you about isn't a villain at all? What if it's your true self, unchained, untamed, alive? Don't want to turn the world to ash for no reason. I want to free it from the lie. I want you to look in the mirror and finally say, that's me, all of it. The light, the dark, the rage, the pain. I'm not perfect, I'm not pure, but I am real. That's what they fear. Not the monster, not the madness, but the moment you stop apologizing for it, because in that moment, you're free, and they're still pretending. So here we are. The fire is lit. The masks are gone. The stage has burned to ash. And standing in the rubble is you. The question now isn't whether I'm a monster. It's whether you are. Not because you hurt people. Not because you crave chaos. But because deep inside, you've always known the darkness isn't empty. It isn't death. It's rebirth. It's where you stop pretending. It's where you stop begging for light and start building your own world with your own rules. So go ahead. Call me mad. Call me evil. Call me monster.